Hello Eurovision friends, thank you for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories for the results of the grand final of Eurovision Winner Knockout, Loreen versus Måneskin. We're gonna find out who your ultimate Eurovision winner is. You guys voted in huge numbers once again. And at the end of the video, we will find out who your winner is. But because so many of you have asked for the full results of the heats and all the other rounds of Eurovision Winner Knockout, we're going to look at that first. If you don't care about the results of previous rounds, you can skip to the end of the video. So first of all, we had the heats with 2 or 3 songs fighting for the chance to advance to the next round. And here you see the results of heat number 1. Some of these were very skewed towards one song, and that's also the case in heat number 1. Ima Quinn won with 71% of the votes against everybody from Estonia. Then it's loading, sorry. In heat number 2, also very skewed, we had Corey Brocken going up against Sandy Shaw, and Sandy Shaw won with 78% of your votes. In heat number 3, we had Teach In, Ding a Dong, going up against Teddy Scholten and Beitje, and you can see it there, Teach In won with 75% of the votes. There are a few closer ones coming up later on. And then we had heat number 4, the first one with 3 songs, and you can see that Frida Bocada came last with but 20% of the votes, not too shabby there. And then in second place, Isabelle Aubray with 23%, and the clear winner, Vicky Leandros, Après Toi, 1972, one of my favorite winners as well. In heat number 5, you can see that Lordi won with 72% of the votes, and Bucks Fizz had no chance with 27%. Then in heat number 6, we had Johnny Logan, Hold Me Now. Maybe had a bit of bad luck going up against Maria Šerifović. Maybe against another song he would have won, but in this case Maria Šerifović won with 61% of the votes. In heat number 7, Udo Jürgens had 26% and Anne-Marie David 73% of the votes with Tu te reconnaîtras. We see that a lot of them won with around 70% of the votes. I think now, no, that's one of the next ones. We're going to have a closer one, I wanted to say. But here we have 3 songs that went up against each other. Salome came last with 13%. Then Dana International, only 21%. Quite surprising there. Quite a iconic winner. But maybe that explains it. Duncan Lawrence Arcade, one of the newer winners and also a favorite among fans with 65% of your votes. And he, of course, then went on to the next round. In heat number 9, that's the one I wanted to look at. Brotherhood of Man, 1976, with 52% of the votes, so quite close. Won against Sertab Erener from 2003. And so an older song won against a newer song in this case. In heat number 10, you had Luz Asia and Refrain, 28% for the first winner. Not too bad, considering that she went up against Helena Paparizou, who got 71% of the votes. In heat 11, the Harrys lost with only 24%. Well, only. They went up against Måneskin, who got 75%. And of course, we know now that they made it all the way to the final. So the Harrys didn't really stand a chance, I guess, in their heat. Then we have another heat with 3 songs. Corinne Hermès came last year with 11% of the vote. 17% went to Lulu, Boom Bang a Bang. And the clear winner with 70% was Conchita Wurst, Rise Like a Phoenix. Not a big surprise there, I think. In heat 13, Måns Zelmerlöw very closely lost to Ruslana 56%, and Måns Zelmerlöw around 44% of the votes. Then in heat number 14, you had André Claveau, one of the first winners, going up against Katrina and the Waves, who completely won this heat with 83% of the votes. Commanding win, as well as here Dima Bilan got barely 10% of your votes, 9% to be precise, and Céline Dion got 90.9% of your votes. Heat 16, 3 songs again. In last place, we had Lenny Cour de Troubadour. In second place, Paul Harrington and Charlie McGadigan, and the winner was Jamala 1944 with 57% of your votes. Let's look at heat number 17. Lena and Satellite won with 71% against Dana and All Kinds of Everything from 1970, who still got 28% of your votes. Not too shabby. In heat number 18, that was very close. Isa Cohen won with 53% of your votes against Linda Martin with 47%. And then there were a lot of winners, so there's a lot of heats to get through. Sorry about that. Loreen and Tattoo got 56% of your votes, while Sandra Kim got 43%. That is much, much closer than I would have ever imagined before starting this vote. But maybe a lot of people voted against Loreen instead of for Sandra Kim, or maybe people just love J'aime la vie, which is one of my least favorite winners. Sorry about that. Then we had 3 songs, and this was very, very close. As you can see, the last place went to, let me check, Jean-Claude Pascal, Nous les Amoureux, a great, great winner, got 28% of your votes. Then in second place, very, very close, once again, Marianne, I Won Her, 35%, and Milk and Honey made it by a percentage point with 36% of your votes. In Heat 21, the clear winner was Séverine en Banque en Arbre une Rue against Elle and Nikki. 67 went for Séverine and 32% to Elle and Nikki. Heat number 22, Kalush Orchestra, the clear winner with 62%. Toto Cotugno didn't stand a chance. Well, not too bad, 38% for Toto Cotugno there. In heat number 23, Nicole won with almost 60% of your votes against Charlotte Perrelli. That was also quite surprising to me, to be quite honest with you. Heat number 24, Alexander Rybak got 72%. In second place was Riva and Rock Me, and Netta and Toy only got 13% of your votes. And Alexander Rybak, of course, went on to the semifinals, so that makes sense. In heat number 25, Grete and Jürgen Ingmann with Danse Wiese got 27%, and Secret Garden Nocturne got 72% of your votes. And they, of course, went on all the way, I think, to the semifinals as well. So it makes sense that they got a huge amount of votes in the heats already. In heat number 26, quite close, Johnny Logan, What's Another Year, got 46%, whereas the Bobby Sox got 53%. And went on to the next round. We're getting closer to the end here. Jacqueline Boyer, Tom Billy B, 24%, and the Olsen brothers, Fly on the Wings of Love, 75%, so quite a clear winner. But in the next round, these songs that won by 75% then have to go up against each other, so that might be interesting. Heat number 28, clear winner ABBA here with 65%. Last place, Karula, Fangad of Stormwind, 16%, and Marie Miriam, sorry, got 18% of your votes. Still a few to go. JJ Wasted Love. This was quite interesting. The last 2 winners, Nemo won by a 2/3 majority. 66% went for Nemo and 33% for JJ. Our latest winner. In Heat 30, a very clear winner, Loreen and Euphoria. She made it to the final, so that's not a big surprise. Winning against Neve Kavanagh, who got 18% of the votes. Heat number 31, Maciel and La 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 got 35%, which is not too bad. And Salvador Sobral got 2/3, still 65% of your votes. And I think this is the last one. 3 songs once again, and a quite close one. Gigliola Cinquetti, surprisingly to me, only got 20% of your votes. And then there was a very close race between France Gall from 1965 and Emily de Forest 2013. But France Gall prevailed and went on to the next round with 41% against Emily de Forest's 39, almost 40%. So those were the heats. Next up, we have the battles in the last 32, and you can see that things are getting closer here already. Ima Quinn against Lena, and Lena won with only 52% of the votes. Ima Quinn 48%. So Lena went on to the next round. In battle number 2, not that close, Sandy Shaw won against Isa Cohen with 64% of your votes. In battle number 3, Loreen, again not that close, Tattoo went on to the next round with 62% of your votes. Teach In got 38%. In battle number 4, Vicky Leandros dominated Milk and Honey, 70% for Vicky Leandros and 30% for Milk and Honey. In battle number 5, this is quite clear. Lordi won with 75% of 4% of your votes, and Severin was out, unfortunately, with 26%. In battle number 6, it was Maria Sherifovic and Molitva who won with 62% against Kalush Orchestra. This was a bit of a surprise to some. Kalush got 38%, so it wasn't even that close in that case. Battle number 7, Anne-Marie David, Tu te reconnaîtras, got 54% of your votes. Charlotte Perelli got 46%. I think I made a mistake with the German Ein bisschen Frieden, actually. Let me check that later on. Who should have gone on instead of Carlo Perelli, I think. Battle number 8, we have Duncan Lawrence with 43% of your votes being beaten by Alexander Rybak, 57%, and went on to the next round. Then we had Brotherhood of Man, Save Your Kisses for Me, who got 42% of your votes, and Secret Garden Nocturne got 58% of your votes and went on to the next round. In battle number 10, Helena Paparizou, 61% of your votes, and the Bobby Sox, 38%. So Helena went on, of course, and then Måneskin completely dominated the Olsen brothers. 72% went for Måneskin, 27% to the Olsen brothers. Battle number 12, Conchita Wurst, Rise Like a Phoenix, lost against ABBA. ABBA got 57% of your votes, and Conchita got 43%. Battle of iconic winners there, and ABBA won in the end. Battle number 13, you have Ruslana with 40%, losing against Nemo with almost 60%. And in battle number 14, we had Loreen and Euphoria clearly dominate Katrina and the Waves. But Loreen, of course, went on to the grand final, which we will see in a minute. And then Celine Dion once again dominating here with 70% of the votes against Salvador Sobral's 29%. And in battle 16, we had Jamala's 45% of your votes against France Gall, 55%. That was a surprise to many, and you see that it was quite close, but France Gall still managed to go on to the next round. Before we talk about the battles in the last 16, I just checked again and I realized that I actually made a huge mistake. Carlotte Perelli should not have gone on to the next round after the heats. Nicole and Ein bisschen Frieden should have gone on. I'm sort of glad that it's my own country that I destroyed the chances of my own country in this case. I'm very sorry about that. I don't know how that happened. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a human being after all. Now, battle number 1 in the last 16, let's move on, is very close. Lena, the other German winner that we have, was knocked out here by Secret Garden and Nocturne, but as you can see, it was incredibly close in this case. In battle number 2, Sandy Shaw went up against Helena Paparizou, and Helena won in this case as well with almost 63% of your votes. Battle number 3, Loreen and Tattoo went up against Måneskin, and Måneskin won with 64%, and they became the finalist, one of the 2 finalists in this competition, of course, in the end. Battle number 4, Vicky Leandros, 27%, and ABBA got 73%, a very clear win for ABBA in this case. Battle 5, and this is the one that I wanted to show you, 6 votes in it here. Lordi got 50.2% of your votes, and Nemo got 49.8% of your votes. So you can see there that every single vote can count in these matchups. And Lordi, defeated Nemo by only 6 votes, which is quite incredible, I think. Battle number 6. Also quite close, not as close, but Maria Sherifovic was beaten by Loreen here, who got 55% of the votes. Maria Sherifovic, 45%. And it's against Euphoria. That's quite a good result for Molitva there, I think. In battle number 7, Anne-Marie David, Tu te reconnaîtras, lost against Céline Dion, who again won with a huge advantage and margin, 70% of your votes, that is. In battle number 8, the clear winner was Alexander Rybak with 60% against France Gall, who got still 40% against one of the most popular winners ever. So those were the last 16. Now let's look at the quarterfinals. Secret Garden went up against Helena Paparizou, and Secret Garden won, to the surprise of many once again. 58% for Secret Garden and 42% for Helena Paparizou. Then Måneskin and ABBA went up against each other. Lots of people expected ABBA to win, I think, in that case, but Måneskin prevailed and got 56% of your votes. ABBA still doing really well with 44%. Then in quarterfinal number 3, we had Lordi going up against Loreen, Sweden versus Finland once again, and Sweden won by a few votes, quite a few votes actually, but 53% went to Loreen and 46% to Lordi, and so Loreen went on to the next round, but quite close there. This one not as close, even though Céline Dion had dominated all of the previous rounds against Alexander Rybak. She met her match, and Alexander Rybak won with 58% of your votes. Céline got 42%. Those were the quarterfinals. Let's look at the semifinals. Quite close here once again. Secret Garden got 47.5% of your votes, whereas Måneskin got 52.5%. So not that many votes in it here, but Måneskin, of course, we know already went on to the grand final. And in the battle, Norway against Sweden, this was surprising to me. I thought Euphoria would dominate a bit more here, but Euphoria got 50.9% of your votes, whereas Alexander Rybak got 49.1%. And that is how we got our two finalists, Måneskin and Loreen. And now we are getting to what you've all been waiting for, I think, the results of the grand final, Måneskin versus Loreen. Here you see again how we got to this point. And now let's get to the grand final. Lots of you voted once again. Måneskin Zitti Buoni 2021. Siamo fuori di testa, ma diversi da loro. Siamo fuori di testa, ma diversi da loro. Goes up against Loreen and Euphoria 2012. And your winner of the grand final of Eurovision Winner Knockout is Måneskin or Loreen. And your winner out of these two is... it's Loreen and Euphoria. Congratulations to Loreen. Euphoria and Sweden. I think not a big surprise that she has become the ultimate Eurovision winner after all, because Euphoria is, I think, the most popular winning song among fans especially. But it was very close. 51.4% went with Euphoria and Loreen and 48.6% with Måneskin. So I guess a worthy final for Eurovision Winner Knockout. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun for you, this little competition. I will be on hiatus, summer hiatus for a few weeks, and then I'll return at some point talking about former Eurovisions and also the upcoming Eurovision season, hopefully. See you then, and bye-bye.